Right. Oh, we come from there. Yeah.
Go on. Good lad. Here. Come on. Holly here, good girl. Come on. Holly up. Come on, good girl. Good girl. Come on then. Come fetch. Come fetch. Come fetch. What's this? Good dog. Fetch it there. Fetch it there. Fetch it. There's a good girl. You fetch it. You fetch it. Good dog. You fetch it here. Holly here. Holly here. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. There's a good girl. That's your first ever pigeon. What a good dog. Yes. What a good dog. Come on then. Look at that then, Patrick. Well done, mate. Patrick's got his second pigeon ever. And the decoys. Well done, Patrick, too. Good girl, Lottie. Yes, good girl, Holly. Yes, you like that, don't you? Yes, you'll have that, won't you? Yes, you will, yes. Yes, leave it now. Good dog. Leave. Although Holly has shown everything. Cold, very windy days, 2 days in succession over some rape, and we're going to look at how to have a quick shoot here by using just camouflage netting in difficult situations. Here I'm against a hedge, but then later on I'm out next to the dike where I have to set up a very small hide, and the pigeons really don't notice me as long as my shape is broken up. So I managed to put just 5 poles up and the netting around that. I'd been shooting at the far end of the field, just underneath a tree there. In the ditch, which was fairly easy, I didn't need any netting at all. But in this case now, I had to move up to the far end of the field because I got used to my being there. This was good training for my 13-week-old young Labrador pup as well. Come on, good dog. I'll get you over here. Go fetch. Go fetch. Good dog. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. You fetch it. Good dog. You fetch it. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Come on then. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Come on. Come on. Next to the hedge it was possible to build quite a sizable hide and be comfortable with the dog. Not so the next day when I had to set net next to the ditch. In you go, come on, in you go. Get in there, dog, in you come. That's good. And our little doggy on them. That day a lot of birds were passing over me and going up to the far left-hand side, 2/3 of the way up the field. So a day later I had to go up and set up a hide up that far left. As I mentioned, there was no cover there at all, and I had to try and make a hide just with the 5 poles, just against the dike there, a little bit of grass just to help hide me a bit. The main thing about camouflage netting is to break up the silhouette of your shape, is to make sure that you're down behind there with no white flashing or showing, that your face is covered with face netting, your hat is also camouflaged. The birds won't really bother then. The strong wind will also assist me, it'll keep them lower and also blow them around as well. With such a wind it wouldn't have been possible to build a very large hide anyway, just using those few poles and keeping them low, keeping myself low on a small stool. As I'd made a very small hide this day, I didn't take the dogs with me. There wasn't really room. I wish I had actually, because a couple of the birds that did come down weren't killed directly and I had to retrieve them as fast as I could. Pick up the birds as quickly as you can, even if they are dead, and replace them looking as naturally as possible. Then quickly get back into the hide, because it's surprising how these birds will take you by surprise. They often come in when you're standing amongst the decoys even. The wind was so strong the birds were hurtling everywhere, coming in from my side, coming in from my back. This particular bird was hit and was blown across the ditch, dying on the other side, so I had to go round and pick that up later. Also, I'd found that one bird I'd shot dropped nearly a quarter of a mile away. You've got to keep an eye on the birds you hit. You might think you've missed them, but quite often you haven't. In this case, this bird was dead. Traditionally in England, once the game season has finished, we go and roost shoot the pigeons. So not only the guns, but the beaters and anybody in the village locally can be invited by the farmers to form a group together, and as many as possible go out and get into the woods and around the countryside and keep the pigeons aloft and give them hell for 1 or 2 nights, sometimes for the entire week, but usually just the first Saturday. I had the very kind invite to shoot directly after the last game shoot the day before, in this case. Wonderful woodland on the hills, and there were about 8 or 9 guns around the woods, keeping those pigeons moving around. Not easy shooting though, they were very high and very fast and very wary, and my shooting wasn't that good that night. But we got a few. The other fortunate thing was I took my stepson Patrick along. That was his first time working a little bit further from me with the gun, and he managed to shoot 2 for himself, which was very, very good. The trick is not to worry about the trees. You don't try and shoot them in a particular space, but pick them up as they come through the branches, and as soon as they're in range and you're not actually shooting into a trunk itself, then blast them within the space. There you saw I couldn't get that bird because it went behind the tree too quickly. And it gave my new young 20-week-old puppy a chance to have a bit of fun with us as well and hone her skills in retrieving. And then we'll leave just before the sun sets, because the pheasants and the partridges in that shoot need to have time to get up into the trees to roost themselves, so we mustn't leave it too late or we'll disturb them too much. And here's Holly retrieving Patrick's first roost shoot pigeon. It's interesting to see the first signs of spring just starting. There are little bluebell heads just coming through and some of the spring flowers and plants just beginning to peek through, but we've got some winter to come yet. Well, here we are out for a second evening's roost shooting. This time we've got the ordinary video camera as well as the head cam. Oh, it's a lovely spot to be. It's a bit brighter this evening, not enough wind, but later on we shall get a few birds coming over. Good girl. You're ready for them, aren't you? Here's a good girl. Good girl. Put it here, come on. Good girl, come on. Put it here, come on. Come on. Come on, put it here. Today. Come on, hop. 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 Good girl. Drop. There's a good dog. Yes, that's a good girl. That's a good girl. There we are. That's one this evening. Go fetch it, go fetch it. Good girl. Good dog. Good dog. Come on. Good girl. Come here. You drop. Good girl. There's a good dog. Yes, that's a good girl. There we go. That's a good doggy. Good girl. Come on, up. Good girl. That's a good dog. There's a good girl. Come on. Up here. Up here. Come on. Here. Come here. Come here. Drop it. There's a good girl. That's a good dog. There's a good girl. Yes. Yes. That's a nice dog. Good fetch. Good dog. Good girl. There's a good girl. Come on, here, 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 here. Up, here, up, come on. Good girl. Drop. Good dog. Good girl. Going around that far around, isn't moving. He's down. Good girl. Yes, drop it there. There's a good doggy. Yes. This is one front way. That's it. There's a good dog. Yes, there's a good girl full of feathers. here we are then, on our probably last roost shooting day of the season. Rather fun. We'll use the barrel cam as well on the side of my face to try and capture some of this for you to enjoy with me. We're a couple of weeks past the season now, and it's nice to see these new young shoots coming through. Good dog, sit down there. Sit, good girl. That's a good dog. Yes. Good girl. We've got Lottie this time because Holly had a wee accident with her leg and had to have it stitched up, so she's out of order for 10 days or so. And here we are back, probably the last time in the woods this season. Very high, look, very high, right up in the sky. Coming in now, look. Oh, just too high. Come get at him. Down. Good dog, good girl, come on, come here, here, come here, come here, come here, up, come on, come here. Come on, good girl, sit it here, that's a good dog, sit it here, that's a good dog, come on then, good girl, come on, come here, good girl, here now, good dog, there's a good girl, yes. Good fetch it, good dog, good fetch it. Come on, up, good girl, come on, sit here, come on, fetch it here. Come on, here, here, good girl, come on, today, come on. Good girl, come on, up, here, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Good girl, good girl. We got it, didn't we? Come on. There's a good dog then. The camera as well, just to hide things away a bit. Good dog, Holly. Good dog. There's a good dog, Holly. Yes. Well, here we are, all set up in the morning. Nice bit of pigeon shooting here over some drilled beans. And we had 20-25 yesterday. Didn't have the cameras with me. Now I'm set up with the barrel cameras you see on my face. Plus got all the decoys and everything out ready. The time now is just 6:30. I expect from 7:15 onwards we'll start getting some birds. So let's get back onto it. Good dog, fish it here. Good girl. Fish it here. Come on, good girl. Come on, come on. Good girl. Go on then. Sit. Sit down. Good dog drop. Good girl. Good. Come on then. Get on, 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 get on. Good dog, get on, good girl. Good girl, come on. Good girl, come on. Good girl. Come on now. Come on, good girl, yes. Come on then. Good dog. Good girl. Come on then, in you come. Exactly, plonking out. Get on there, good dog. Get on there, get on, get on, get on, good dog, get on. Where is it? Fish it there, get on. Down there somewhere. Good dog. Get in there. Get in there, get in there. Good dog. Good girl. Good dog. That's a good girl. That's it. About time and all. There we go. Well, that's the way it goes. Only got 3-4 birds today. Not many pigeons about at all. All yesterday. Hardly a thing here and about today. So it's nearly 9 o'clock. I think we'll pack up now. Come on then, there's a good girl. Stay, sit. Sit. Sit down. Come here. Sit down. Sit. Good fish. Fish it there. Good dog. Good girl. Come on. We're off wildfowling this morning to Saltfleet, just up the road. It's a bit late in the season, but we might see some birds. It'd just be nice to go and show you how a small hide can be set up, just big enough to get behind. Do with longer poles, I think, slightly, so I'll do that later. What I want to show you before we go, though, is calls. Because we haven't done calls. We don't really need them for the pigeon, although it has been fun at times to use pigeon calls in Woodland and bring them in closer. I used to use the rifle on those then. But these, the pintail, the duck and the goose. Now, the duck call, fairly simple one, but you have your hand over the end like that, these particular calls. I had pump ones and all sorts, but I find these just around my neck to be the most easiest. So you can blow and open your hand up to make the louder sound. Or use your amount of breath to do it, or you can use your tongue if they're feeding, for instance. So that's the duck. Now then there's the Pigeon pintail, which is a whistle. And you can adjust the tone of the whistle by pushing this in and out. So you get the Pigeon or pintail call. And then finally the goose, again using our hand. So I use my hand to make the ee. So blow hard, open up. And that will usually bring them in. You can, if you're really stuck, use your voice, as I have in the past, and it has called them in. Well, here I am setting up some decoys, and a strong southerly in December. We need to be out there before first light so that we're there for the flights to start. The ducks will come over just as the first light comes, and usually you get the seagulls and the crows and the pigeons getting up closer inland. We'll see a flock of those moving around later, and then just as the seagulls come, the flights of duck will usually come in behind them, as will the geese. So we need to be set up, ready and waiting, ready to ambush them, otherwise if we're out and about they'll see us. Irrespective of whether I get a shot or not, it's a bit like fishing. It's a magical place to be. I take the camera with me and I hope to get some shots for painting from. That's with the camera, not shots with the gun. And it can be just as difficult to get those shots with the camera as it is with the gun. It's nice to get some of these waders that come in and will come right round the flashes, almost up to the hide. I prefer to work with my own photographs. In fact, you saw some behind me when I was demonstrating the calls just now, of pheasants and of geese. This particular morning, as sod's law would have it, when I got out of the hide to set the camera up to take some shots externally, some birds came in and saw me and flew away. And as I was setting the camera up, 3 ducks came in. It's the only ones I'm going to see today, I think. But in the rest of the film I do show you how these decoys are set out. Here you can see I've used that method I showed earlier of putting the fishing line out on a reel and rod and spreading the decoys along that line, also placing them out in the flashes singly and individually.